Hello everyone, my name is Toya Shanelle and welcome to my channel. As you can see in the title, this video is a story time about how God sent me my husband. Back in 2012, I had just ended a very toxic relationship. I had two teenage daughters at the time. At the time, my youngest was 12 and my oldest was 13. I was really at a space in my life where I really was ready to settle down. I wanted to just be with somebody who was, who loved me for me and someone that could be a good influence on my daughters. So one night I remember being on the phone with my grandmother and I had told her that I was ready to get married. And she was like, Toya, if you're ready to get married, she said, I want you to write down a letter to God. And she said, I really want you to think about it. Really think about all the qualities that you want in a husband. And she said, you can put the looks in there. She said, but most importantly, just make sure you put all the qualities that you want in him. And she said, at the end of the letter, I want you to include, God, please add all the things that you know I need that I may have forgotten. And she said, after you write that letter, she said, I want you to pray over it. And then she said, I want you to bury it in your yard. And I was like, bury it in my yard. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, that sounded a little crazy to me. But hey, it was coming from my grandma. So I said, I'm gonna do it. After I got off the phone with my grandmother, I really sat down and thought about what I wanted in a husband. I wrote it all down and I put it in my Bible. I prayed over it, I put it in my Bible, and I went to bed. The next morning, I took the letter, and I don't know why, I felt like I should put it in a Ziploc bag. So I put it in a Ziploc bag and I buried it in my backyard. And it's funny because I was actually renting a house at the time, and I'm sure that letter is still buried in the backyard. Although I thought it was crazy, now looking back on it, I felt like it came from Habakkuk in the Bible, Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. I also looked at the letter as if it was a seed. Now that I'm older and mature, because I was trying to think back, like, why did she tell me to bury that letter? And I think for me, I took it as like I was planting a seed. And I felt like the praying over it, was helping the seed to grow. And another thing that I started doing, which my grandmother didn't even mention, but I just felt like I should do it. I started trying to think and imagine what my life would be like once my husband came. So I would go to stores and I would look at rings and I would try on different rings. So I kind of knew the kind of ring I wanted. I wanted to see how it felt to have a ring on my finger. I also started praying for my husband. I would pray for him. I would say goodnight to him. I even, y'all, it may sound strange, but I would get a pillow and I would lay on my pillow at night and I would think about how he would smell, how he would feel, how he would hold me at night while I slept, like hearing his heartbeat, laying my head against his chest. I would imagine having a ring on my finger. And, now that I look back on it, some people may have said that I was like manifesting him, but I was really trying to prepare myself to be a wife and to have this, man in my life, forever. Some months had passed and I had been on this dating app, and y'all, that app was ridiculous. The men on there, the quality of men was horrible. And this was like 11 years ago. So I can't even imagine how the apps are now. But I was on a dating app because I had two daughters and I wasn't getting out much. I really didn't go to the club anymore. I was 33 years old and I was not, clubbing. I really wasn't going a lot of places where I could meet men. I really was just going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home. And then on the weekends, I just like to focus on my daughters and do things with them. So an app was just the easy way, to meet, different people. So I had been on this dating app and I kind of had gave up on that app. But that night, I just wanted to get on the app and just see. So I was scrolling through different profiles and then I saw this guy and he was standing with what looked to be maybe his daughter. And It looked like they were at a graduation. And he just looked so nice and genuine. And I loved his smile. And I said, I'm going to send him a message. And y'all, I don't be messaging people. Like, I'm the person that gets pursued. I don't pursue people, but for whatever reason, I sent him a message. So I sent him a message and he actually was online. So he replied right away. And I honestly don't even remember what I messaged him, but he messaged right away and we went back and forth messaging each other, I would say for probably about an hour. After we messaged for like an hour, I know it was getting late. And I remember I was sitting at my dining room table and I was like, okay, it's getting late. I'll talk to you next time I'm online. And he immediately sent me his phone number and we said goodnight or whatever. And that was that. The next morning, I woke up and I was thinking about him. And I said, I'm going to send him a text message, which is so, and I only sent him a text message because it was like 7 o'clock in the morning because I had just started a new job and I sent him a message before I went to work and he immediately called me. And I love that because I remember when I used to be on the app, like if I would give my number to somebody, they always wanted a text. People were not really talking. And I could just imagine how it is nowadays where they really just messaging. But I love that he had called me right away. So that was definitely a plus for him. And I actually had started a new job, like I said, and I was on the phone with him all day. I would like put him on hold whenever I had a patient, come back and be talking on the phone. And he actually was working the night shift. So he was just talking to me all day on the phone, excuse me. And I would say we dated for about 3 months. And he asked my daughters if he could marry me. And I found that out after he proposed to me. But it was about 3 months. And I knew something was up because he was just acting so weird. He was acting weird all day. And he was like, can I take you to dinner? And I was like, of course. And so he took me to dinner and he proposed. He proposed to me. I remember the dessert came out and it had a beautiful ring in there. And it said, will you marry me? And he got on his knee and he proposed to me. And we've been married now. It'll be 10 years next month in December. It'll be 10 years and we've been together a total of 11 and a half years. And the rest is history. So that just shows you it doesn't matter how old you are. If that is something that you desire to be married, I would recommend you try what I did. I mean, I would recommend that you write a letter to God. I don't know if you necessarily have to bury it, but you can bury it and start just really waiting and anticipating being a wife. Like imagine yourself being a wife. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my story time of how God sent me my husband. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you on the next video.